Hey everyone, I want to say welcome. We're actually here with Weeda Hamdan and as part of her art studio. So we've been talking about a little bit this idea of resiliency and this idea of, growth mindset and what can you stick with and what sticks with you. But really what I want to do is I want to turn the lens real fast and talk to Weeda and let her kind of show us her view of art and how she applies resiliency both in a philosophical construct, an artistic construct, and just in her own life. So super excited to be here. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm thrilled.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So if you don't mind, talk to us a little bit about your inspiration, how your art gets made, and anything you want to show us.
Sure. I'll tell you how it started.
Okay.
Being an immigrant, arriving here 20 years ago to Texas, and I had lived in Africa and Spain and Lebanon, and it's all about nature there, and you take it for granted when you spend 29 years of your life there. When I moved here and I was in Plano, everything was extremely plain and the trees were stick forms, and you come from Lebanon when trees are 3,000 years old and
Sure.
they're in the Bible. Everyone kept telling me as an artist, you shouldn't be here, you should be in New York or California, but it wasn't a choice of where I could be.
Right.
To me, I thought, but I have lived through all these countries and I've lived in wars, why do I really have to not be okay with where I am? To me, it was, I couldn't be that picky.
Sure.
I have it
Sure.
better life here in Texas than in Lebanon, being a war child who's lived in bunkers and shelters, and I wasn't happy with Texas. It was I did not want to become that person.
Right.
On I can really choose or not versus live with what I have. I had started painting, drawing when I was 12 in a bunkers in the war in Lebanon, and we were in a very small room, almost 10 by 10 or 12 by 12. Very dim with the light that you could just pull down as a bulb that you could pull down. If you had electricity and if you did, you had power and no power. But it was honestly a cow shed that my parents had cleaned out, and it didn't smell anything like cows, but it was my grandfather's cow shed.
Okay.
And we all hunkered in during the war because it was the safest thing during shelling. And there was a little staircase that we could escape, go up, escape to the bathroom, if we could go to the bathroom. Otherwise, we're using cotton and alcohol to clean our bodies. And then during ceasefire, we would run to the bathroom and come back down. But I just don't know how I ended up with a pencil and a notepad. And it was dark during that time. And when we were done playing cards and the candles are burnt out, I had the pencil and the pad, and I just sketched blindly whatever I imagined. And then it was dark, and then early in the dusk, in the morning, I would creep up to the stairs and take a look at my work, and then go back down. Oh my God, it's a bird! It's that, right?
Okay.
And that, to me, that kept me going through that period of war, because we went from one small bunker to a huge underground depot with all the village living in it. But that kept me going. How I was telling you about the painting, the spot there. I've been painting that spot for 20 years. I can't get enough of it because to me I'm experimenting constantly with Yupo paper, with gauze, with pastel, with oil on paper, with India ink on Yupo paper, with India ink on canvas. So what am I doing here? All I'm doing is trying to reach that point of excellence. But the funny part, that gets pushed further out. You see, what I'm saying? And that's the beauty of working hard, because you end up saying, oh, what if I take this to the next level? What if I take this to the next level? What if I mix things up differently? So there's no stopping. It's just continuously working to do better.
Is it fair to say that you're never done?
You're never done.
Never done.
I hope I'll never be done.
Oh.
Like you see pastel now on canvas, but it's the same theme, right? It is all the same theme. And if you know something, it's so funny. It's the same spot. Look. But this is this one. This is here. This is here. This is here. This is zoom. This is here. This is here. It's the same spot. But you can't tell, and I'm not trying to impress anyone, it's because you are on this journey of exploration, and it's always going to be a surprise for you if we allow ourselves to go beyond feeling there's a resistance. There's no resistance. The resistance is within us. You see what I'm saying? We just have to break that mold and keep going.
Well, I think about it in terms of like a teacher. You might
Yes.
say, okay, so I'm teaching math,
Yeah.
and once my students finish this unit, right, then we're done with this unit, we move on. A teacher knows that. A student might say, well, once I finish this, then I'm done with math. And it doesn't matter if it's art, it doesn't matter if it's math, it doesn't matter if it's technology, all these applications is that you're never done. And the setbacks that you experience along the way actually make you stronger and create art like this. This is incredible. This is all the same spot.
Same spot.
Okay.
Same spot. And I have over, look, and the same spot still growing. You know, it doesn't stop in between. And talk about works that have not been fulfilling. There are a bunch of them there in that corner that they're not my failed work, but they're the work that led me to this. I can drag them out. Each one is the one that I'm not happy with, but it's life is an experiment. Meaning you can't think about, I can't think about, oh, I failed. I never, okay, I'm modest, but I'm not saying about, I can never fail, because if I think that way, I will never move forward.
Sure.
It's just, it's a line and a dot in a line, and I have to keep moving from one dot to another. And this experience that did not accomplish what I wanted is going to lead me to the next one. But I have to be open to that.
Well, a lot of times we think of failure as like binary, like it's right or wrong.
Yeah.
And so that's why it's easy to say you've never failed because you never did a wrong painting. There were things that you're not happy with, and would you call them mistakes? What would
I'm
you call
grateful
them?
for them. They led me here.
Grateful for them. Okay, all right.
They led
Yeah.
me. You see what I'm saying? If without them, I wouldn't be doing all of this.
Oh my gosh.
There's a
Okay.
starting point. There's that step on the ladder, step on that staircase. You start there. You want to be up there, but you have to start on the first step. And that step you're not happy with, but it's going to get you to the next step. So I'm so grateful I'm stepping on that step. I'm going to be on the next one soon.
Okay.
But at the same time, live that step. There's no rush in going, because if we don't allow ourselves to be living on that step, even though we're not happy, we're not going to be seeing the next step. You see what I'm saying?
I do. Yeah, absolutely do.
And that's the same thing with painting. And that's what art does to you. Art creates that peace within and zones out. It's not about competition. It's not about being better than others. It's not about, I mean, you're trying to better yourself. It's always the self that's getting better.
And you're grateful for those, I'm not even going to call them mistakes anymore.
No.
You're grateful for those along the way that you're not happy with because they've made you stronger.
Yeah. So if you recall, we were outside with the viewfinder and the view of the water, and so at one point this was all of the lake from one angle.
Okay.
It's almost, this is like your big picture feeling, right?
And these colors were literally there when you were painting this.
Well, being a graphic artist,
Yeah.
I exaggerate colors. So I do see colors that are not there.
Okay.
It just, again, there might be a little hint of purple. I'll make it purple.
You accentuate it. You bring it out. You bring it to
because
the front.
that talks to my feeling again.
Yeah.
It's reflecting on a feeling I have.
And that's that lake that
Yeah,
we just saw.
from a different angle.
That's
altogether.
fascinating.
Yeah, exactly. You don't have to go far to find yourself.
Okay.
And I think that's been the highlight of being in Texas, and the conviction of anywhere is home. You know, home as the heart is home.
Right.
And you can be happy anywhere you go. It's just you have to carry yourself through it.
Now, I'm going to be jumping just a little bit, but what would you tell a teacher who says, I love teaching, it's my passion, but how do I find that centerpiece for my students? Like, how do you help your students explore and find like what their intrinsic motivation is? What would you recommend?
Yeah, they should definitely have to reflect.
Okay.
Meaning, again, go inside within, or if the child can't go within, let them just get it out, because there's probably, especially if you're dealing with students who have underserved communities, there's a lot of buildup of calcification.
Yeah, calcification, frustration,
of
sure.
course,
yeah.
right. So as long as we don't have them paint within the line, no, we can't have students paint in the line, because that's how they've been living, inside the line. So we have to break that line, have them, give them Jackson Pollock, bring
There you go. Yeah.
bring oops paint from Home Depot, and just have them express it. They have to let it out first, the children, before they go within. So they have to peeling the onion.
Wow.
You see,
Okay.
right? So we can't expect them. And especially students can be very intimidated by seeing masterpieces, but they haven't seen the stories of the master artists, the pain they've been through. Say Van Gogh only sold one painting in his life, but then everything is $42 million and above.
Sure.
But he died poor, and he was supported
sure.
by his brother all his life. So, bringing in the stories of these people, that their painting is hanging right now for millions, but that's not the reality of that person in that time.
So like right now, if I wanted to paint, I would be very intimidated.
Of
right?
course.
I'd be like, oh my gosh, this is a wonderful masterpiece.
I was.
And then to kind of unpack what you're saying, it's not only what you have control over, but also recognizing that it's a long journey.
Yes.
It's a process.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And go into those famous artists, master artists, and tell stories about how they started. Because there's a starting point. It's a ladder, and it's 10,000 hours. It's the hours, right?
I bet your students loved you. That was amazing.
I've had students. It's really interesting. I've had students that would say to me, "I want to put it out there in a museum," and they're frustrated and they wouldn't continue because it doesn't. And they're only 10, and it's not museum quality. I said, "What do you mean museum quality? Come here, let me show you what I was 12. You were talking about museum quality? Look at this work and let's laugh at it."
Yeah.
Because this is how you start. And then he felt, oh, I can be myself.
Right.
You see? And then the vulnerability is important. Going back to that vulnerability, it's okay to be in pain. It's okay to not to be happy. It's okay to do that. But once you produce that, that's going to be, that to you, it takes away the pain. It takes away the anger. It takes away the unhappiness, because you're allowing yourself, you're channeling that feeling into something.
Well, it sounds like you're also encouraging them to remove comparison.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yes.
So if he's looking, if you were comparing yourself to an artist, I'm comparing myself to your painting, and even this kid is saying, I'm comparing myself to museum quality work.
Yes.
And that is kind of the beginning of shutting yourself down.
You shoot them in they shoot them because there is competition.
Okay.
But you can't compete with yourself. You are your worst critic.
Okay.
And to me, there's a jury in your brain here, in your mind, that you always go to that quality. That this is your jury here, not outside. And so you always have to compete with being a better person, being a better artist. And what does it mean to you? This is your moral compass now, talking your value compass working. Not independent of Picasso, of Van Gogh, of Monet and Manet and all of Kandinsky, independent of that. It's you. And they were in your same shoes. They walked the same footsteps that kids are starting right now. But they have to see that. Children have to see that. To me, I feel if I take a child to a museum, it wouldn't be just to say, "Oh, this is for $2 million."
Yeah.
No, it's this artist went through so much.
The process that they went through to get there.
Journey.